So I've entitled this Moving Forward. Cousins and comrades, today marks the last GMM of a turbulent year where not only our local, but the entire union was severely demoralized by another round of back-to-work legislation. As devastating as our rights being violated again was, I'm extremely proud of how our local has responded during my time as president over the last 6 months. Since June, we've recruited and trained over 200 workfloor activists, sworn in 10 new shop stewards, more than doubled our average GMM attendance, and passed a slate of policies enshrining accountability for both our stewards and leadership. For the first time in recent memory, our workfloors are starting to mobilize themselves. What started with the downtown and Rosedale depots refusing flyer overburdening grew into Rosedale and Mayfield RSMC's demands for proper compensation for their reliefs, Depot 2's confrontations over fraudulent restructures and improper parking, Dalton and Shift 1 parcels marching against bully supervisors, and Shift 2 ML standing up to staffing cuts. It is no small thing to challenge authority, and it must be said that many of those participating in these job actions were doing so for the first time. Many of you who helped make this possible are in the room today, and I want to give you my deepest appreciation for your inspiring work. You are the beating heart of this local. Thank you. Before becoming president, members consistently expressed the desire to see more of and more from our union officers on the work floor. I've continued to take these concerns to heart and have made more than 80 facility, affiliate, and shift visits. With each visit, I've held work floor meetings to share the latest news, promote education opportunities, take questions, collect contact info. As an aside, our email list has jumped from 900 to 1,500 contacts, and conduct referendum votes. This persistent contact with members is important because, especially now, there are countless ways our activists are helping to strengthen our organization that our members need to hear about. With that, I want to give special acknowledgments to most of the chief stewards for their excellent work in helping me navigate a deeply flawed consultation system. I want to thank the route measurement team for keeping members informed of CPC's latest value fraud, the Inside Out Committee for their ongoing excellent work to provide a truly quality publication with invaluable analysis, and especially the Education Chair, Devin, his committee, and our new co-facilitators for successfully conducting an unprecedented 12 courses in such a short amount of time to empower our local. So again, thank you. By all metrics, our local is flourishing, but we are far from realizing our true potential. We still have funds allocated for 3 more organizer training courses to run. From my visits this past week to Dalton, Mayfield, Depot 2, and Whitemount South, I've collected 48 applications for the next 2 courses we have scheduled mid-December. I'll continue with recruitment presentations and updates when I visit other facilities over the next couple weeks. The reason for a perpetual recruitment and education drive is twofold. This forever delayed arbitration is a sham that, I'll bet, will not satisfactorily address our overburdening and short staffing concerns. When this arbitration fails us and we are no longer under the tyranny of backwards legislation, we need to be prepared to take the fight to CPC. True unionism and solidarity is about empowering workers to decide their own fate through mass collective action. This can never happen without an uncompromising belief in and promotion of workfloor organizing and a training program to increase the likelihood of successful job actions. There's no such thing as having too many trained and coordinated organizers. The more we have, the more confidence the workfloors are to engage in action, the more likely we will succeed in those actions, the more likely our conditions will improve, and the more likely more of our members will be inspired to actively support the cause. Speaking of the cause, Edmonton has been a guiding light for not only our region, but the rest of the country. This past Thursday, November 28th, I helped lead a conference call with officers from our regional office, the Grand Prairie, Lethbridge, Saskatoon, and Winnipeg locals. In this call, a formal invitation was made for these locals to promote and hold the same organizer training course our local developed. To ensure the success of the course, Edmonton will send facilitators at the host's expense to help train the first course and to get the local self-sustaining to continue their own courses. From there, a regional organizing committee, the first of its kind in CUPW, would be established to coordinate activities between the locals so that we can exert greater pressure on CPC. We hope to have training dates finalized for these locals before the new year so that we can begin our training expansion in January. To be clear, again, this would have never happened if not for the efforts and commitment of the activists of this local. This organizing drive was also the logical origin of our defiance referendum. The fact that other locals are now trying to hold their own referendums and that National is compelled to reprioritize the prospect of defiance is only possible because of the willingness of Edmonton members to do what it takes to improve their working conditions. It's old news now that Edmonton voted 83% in favor of the fine legislation if it had the proper support. What's new is that the National Executive finally responded to our open letter. Since then, I've had two opportunities, the most recent being this past Wednesday, November 29th, to discuss with them what our next move should be. The hard truth is that our union does not have the financial ability to bankroll our members if fines were handed out en masse. Even with a $20 million war chest, that would mean only half of our membership would be able to defy legislation for one day and be fined. That said, the belief was never that any of us could afford these fines, but that if enough of us fought the fines, that they would be unenforceable. This is a worthy long-term objective which we should never lose sight of. Members of the National Executive acknowledge that if our union is to ever be in a position to meaningfully test back-to-work legislation or the next incarnation of it, it must first embrace a deliberate strategy to train and prepare its membership. In that vein, our National Director, Roland Schmidt, and our first, second, and third VPs agreed to maintain discussions with Edmonton and our Regional Education Officer, Brother Lambert, to explore the best ways to expand the Prairie organizing program to other regions. Steps have already been taken to set up a call with the Ontario region. The feeling is that once the rest of Prairie, and then hopefully Ontario, inevitably benefits from putting more resources into workfloor organizing, the National would be in a better position to aggressively promote a Canada-wide organizing strategy to enact the action plan unanimously passed at our last National Executive. What started 6 months ago as one local's honest appeal for CUPW to return to the organizing methods that once gave our union its greatest expressions of strength has grown into the beginning of a legitimate movement. It can't be stated enough, a tremendous change is sweeping through our union, which would have never happened if not for the willingness of many of you to become active in our union for the first time and to inject our workplaces and committees with new ideas and energy. If this union ever gets to the point of meaningfully facing down corporate abuse and government oppression, it will be because of what we started here together in Edmonton. You are the catalyst. Look what we've accomplished in just 6 short months. Imagine where we'll be in 6 more if we maintain our direction. Thank you.